Hey y'all, this is a Happy Hobo with another helpful hint. Today we're going to try a little bit longer format. We're going to talk about some wages. We're going to talk about the wages for truck drivers and some of the reports that came out this month about how much we're actually getting paid as company drivers or on the average. And this is on the average as company drivers, owner operators, independent drivers. So I'm pulling from an article written from the ATA, which is the American Trucking Association, which if anybody knows about the ATA, they're a conglomerate of a lot of the big box companies. They're not for the little guys, they are for the corporation. Like I think the president of the ATA is the CEO of Maverick, the flatbed company, and it includes executives from Snyder, Swift, U.S. Express, all the big companies are have executives that are on the board of the ATA, and they lobby for regulations and for the FMCSA, and you can almost bet that 90% of the time it's going to be good for the big companies and not as well for the independent owner operators. But anyways, this article that I'm pulling from is from the ATA, and they are talking about the compensation that truck drivers are getting. Is it fair? Is it over, under what they should be getting? In compensation. In my opinion, y'all company drivers are not making enough money for the risks that you take. Just remember, you're out there. Yeah, you don't have a lot of maintenance, and you don't have to pay for a lot of the overhead, but you got to remember, it's your butt that's out there. And if you're not making enough, to hire a lawyer if something goes wrong, because they will burn you. These big companies will burn you, and then like if you get in an accident, you're gonna need a lawyer, and a good one, and it's gonna be expensive, because if you get in a wreck, you can be personally sued. The company is gonna try everything they can to throw you under the bus so they don't get sued. You could possibly go to jail. There's a lot, criminal charges could come, even if it was an accident. Everybody's pointing their fingers at a truck driver. So just keep that in mind when you get that paycheck. Are you making enough to pay your bills? Save some for a rainy day. And if something happens, are you able to just live for 3-6 months without a job and be able to hire a lawyer and fight legal proceedings? Just remember that when you get that paycheck, so, and if you're not in that situation yet, and that should be what you're working towards, to where you could survive for 3 to 6 months on your savings and still be able to afford a lawyer in case something happens, because that's your biggest risk out here, is getting sued or getting in an accident. And if you don't have insurance and stuff on yourself to cover you, the company are either self-insured, or they're or they have an insurance company that covers their truck and covers damages and stuff. You got workman's comp that covers you. But if there was an accident and if it was your fault, that company or the insurance company is going to do their best to place liability on you, the driver. And then that's going to come down to you being able to defend that in court or wherever. So, getting back to this, they're saying that the wages for truck drivers rose significantly in 2021 as the demand for drivers increased, which that's kind of a hot topic too. Is there really a driver shortage out here? Because you got to understand these big box companies like Swift, Snyder, the big ones, that pay for new drivers out of school. They create this. They want to talk about this driver shortage, and you got to remember they get paid. I think it's something like $10,000, to hire new drivers from the federal government to keep this, to fill the seats for, to help fill the driver shortage. And a lot of these drivers are under contract. Okay, and then after that, that's why if you went to one company and got a contract and you left that company, no other company's going to hire you in that first 6 months or first year, that you get blackballed. Or if you get in an accident, when you're brand new, they fire you or whatever, and you can't get a job anywhere else. Because they've already made their $10,000. Or the truck driving school, sometimes if you go to a truck driving school, they have a deal where they get $5,000, and then the company that hires you gets $5,000. And then you sign a contract for 6 months or a year to stay with that company and have them train you for a year. And then if you break that contract, you end up owing money to like the trucking school or to the company for breaking the contract. You can't get hired anywhere else to make the money, and they've already made grant money off of you. So they want to keep that grant money coming. So they don't care if you're out of that seat. They put a new one in there and they get another $5,000 or $10,000. Keep that in mind. If you're a new truck driver and you do go through a school or something like that, finish your contract. No matter how much it sucks, finish your contract, and a world of opportunities will open up to you. So getting off that tirade about the driver shortage, because there's not a driver shortage. There's a good experienced driver shortage, I would say. So anyways, the compensation study, fleets were asked about the driver and owner-operator compensations, including pay rates, bonuses, and benefits. Fleets cumulatively represent more than 135,000 employee drivers and 20,000 independent contractors. That's part of this ATA. The median truckload driver earned about $69,700. Let me know in the comments, if you're a company driver, are you really truly bringing home $69,000 a year? Are you making more? And how many years of experience do you have? Are you a new driver? Have you got years of experience with the same? Just let me know down there in the comments, because I'm kind of curious, actually, what company drivers are really making out here. Try to be honest. I know, there's people like to, kind of embellish what they make. If they're making a lower wage than the next guy, it makes them feel a little insecure sometimes. But I really would like to know, what you company drivers are making annually. I'm curious, because I'm not a company driver myself. I own my own truck, but that's a different story. We're getting up to this. So they're saying that this was an 18% increase since 2019, up over 11% from 2020. So they're saying that $69,000 is 11% more than what it was in 2020. So that they're saying that includes bonuses, but it excludes other benefits. I'm assuming like insurance or recruiting bonuses. So anyways, the median includes new drivers to the industry, which brings down the average. There are many drivers who made significantly more than the median. And again, that's something I'm curious about with you drivers out there. If you could just drop a comment and let me know, how much it is that, that we're seeing out here. Because I mean, if they're saying that, that average is way lower or should be way higher for experienced drivers, I'd like to really know, or if this is just some fluff that they're putting out to drive their numbers. Okay, because they're saying that the median salary for a driver on a private fleet was about $85,000. So, like a smaller company, $85,000 average for a company driver, and an LTL driver was about $73,000 a year. And they're saying owner operators saw estimated median gross revenues of $235,000, and with a median of 164. Now, I can speak for that for myself. Now, I do a specialized kind of sector in the owner operator business. I do expedited freight, overnight freight, a team drive, which generally brings a little bit more money. And because both my wife and I both drive teams, and I could say last year I was somewhere in gross revenue before expenses and taxes and everything. We were at the 285,000 range, and that was, we didn't work all year long. We take time off usually every couple of months. We take a couple weeks off and go on vacation. I mean, we don't stay out here and live out here. And there is two of us driving, so that figure might be a little lower than what some get, and maybe be higher than some others. But you got to remember, we're a team, But we also take off together. We spent a month in Florida, so we didn't work 365 days a year, like some people do. So that's my honest thing, and then we got fuel and taxes that came out of that. So they're saying drivers that are running final mile are, those are the guys that take it, like to the store or whatever, are getting about 65,000. 93% of carriers boosted pay in 2021. So they're saying just about all carriers gave everybody raises for 2021 last year. Half the carriers, they're saying they boosted pay over 11% for most of them. Over half the carriers indicated they were planning to increase pay this year as well. So let me know that too. Are you expecting a raise this year? You should. You're worth it. Just remember, you're worth it. They've got nothing without us drivers. Don't undercut yourself. Don't undersell yourself. Because you're valuable. If you have experience, you're valuable. 96% of fleets offer referral bonuses for new drivers. See, that's what I'm talking about there. These fleets, they give these referral bonuses because it's hard to keep people in the seat. And there's a reason. You think about that. I've been doing this for, with my wife, we've been doing the team driving thing since 2015. And there's a reason why I left company, left being a company driver. I didn't like the way I was being treated by the companies. I felt like an indentured servant, even the good ones, and it was hard to keep people in the. You got to remember, the more bonuses that these companies tend to offer, there's a reason. They're having a problem with retention. Inexperience and retention of experienced drivers. So the pay structure, about 80% of truck drivers are paid by the mile. The other 20 get, maybe hourly or salary, but 80% of us are mile paid, which again, I'm a little different. I get paid by the load. Obviously, owner-operators generally get paid by the load, not by the mile. You know, even though they might break it down by the mile to kind of give an idea of how much they're getting paid, you know, per mile, but you get paid per contract. In 2021, a new driver is making about 46 cents a mile up to 60 cents a mile. Again, company drivers, I have no clue. I've been out of the company game for a while. I'm really curious on what company drivers are getting paid by the mile. You know, 46 cents, you know, that was really good pay when I first started driving for a company. You know, and 60 cents a mile, I mean, that's I would say that's pretty decent for a company driver with no maintenance or anything. But really, honestly, I think, you know, it should be more. You know, it really should be more. But with fuel and overhead, you got, you know, new trucks. You know, I don't know. That's why I'm asking these company drivers that are listening to me. What is it that you think is a fair compensation? Do you think you're getting a fair compensation? Again, I have no clue. And salaried, the average pay for a driver is about $81,000 a year. Now, if you're making $81,000 a year with no overhead, you know, you're getting benefits, and I'd say that's pretty good, you know, good pay, $81,000. But I have a feeling that there's a lot of company drivers out here that are not making $81,000 a year as a company driver. So anyways, that's where I wanted to go on this, where we talk about the pay. I'd really like to hear what everybody else has to say about this. We'll start a discussion. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this, if it gets enough interest. Thanks again. I'm the Happy Hobo. This is a new channel. I'm just trying to bring a bunch of different trucking news and thoughts, and, you know, like I said, I make a few shorts about and make jokes about stuff. You know, just try to get a laugh. We'll try all sorts of different things. You guys tell me what you like to hear about, and I'll try to make some videos about that. Stay safe out there. Keep the dirty side down.